Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are diving into something that is absolutely essential in pretty much any professional field you can think of. We're talking science, manufacturing, you name it. It's called good documentation practices. And trust me, this is way more than just paperwork. It's the system that proves your work was done right, and getting it wrong can be the difference between success and, well, a total disaster. So let's start with the golden rule, the absolute mantra that anyone in a regulated or audited environment lives by. You have to burn this into your brain. If you haven't documented it, you haven't done it. It doesn't matter how perfectly you performed a task. If there's no solid record, then to an auditor, to a regulator, it's like it never even happened. Poof, gone. And that really leads us to the big question, doesn't it? If your work is always going to be under a microscope, how do you create records that actually stand up to that kind of intense scrutiny? How do you make something that is just undeniably trustworthy? Well, the answer lies in this set of principles that are kind of the unwritten, and let's be honest, often very written, rules of the game. It's a whole system, and it's called Good Documentation Practices, or GDP for short. So what is GDP? Think of it as the framework that takes your notes and records and turns them into rock-solid, objective evidence. The whole point is to make sure every single document is concise, totally legible, 100% accurate, and completely traceable. It's like the DNA of a credible record. Okay, so how does this whole system actually work? Well, it's all built on 4 foundational pillars. If you can get these 4 things right, you are well on your way to creating documentation that is basically bulletproof. Yep, it all comes down to these 4 ideas, and they really build on each other to tell the complete story of your work. Now let's break these down, because these words mean a little more than you might think. Concise doesn't just mean short, it means you've told the entire story, beginning, middle, and end. Legible means an auditor can read it 5 years from now, not just your coworker tomorrow. Accurate? Well, that's obvious. The data has to be right. But it also means you recorded it as it happened, not from memory 5 hours later. And traceable. That's the audit trail, the detective work. It answers who, what, when, where, and why for every single thing you did. All right, so with those pillars in mind, how do we actually put this into practice? Well, it starts with the very structure of the document itself. Every official record needs to have some standard parts, and each one has a super important job. Think of these as your document's built-in safety features. A unique number means no record can just disappear. Page numbers, like page 1 of 5, prove that the document is whole, that nothing's missing. The revision level, that stops somebody from accidentally using an old, outdated procedure. And the effective date makes it official. It's a system designed to be controlled and really, really hard to misuse. Of course, let's be real. Nobody's perfect. Mistakes are gonna happen. But in a professional setting, it's not the mistake that gets you in trouble, it's how you correct it. And believe me, there is a right way and a very, very wrong way. And here it is, the classic blunder. A big scribble, a thick black line, maybe some whiteout. The issue here isn't that you made a mistake, it's that you've now hidden the original information. An auditor sees this and their first thought is, what are they trying to hide? Just like that, your credibility is shot because the traceability is completely gone. Now this is the right way to do it. It's so simple and it's all about being transparent. First, just a single, clean line through the error. The original entry has to still be readable. Next, write the correct info right next to it. And finally, this is key, add your initials and the date of the change. See? You're not hiding anything, you're creating a clear, professional, and traceable record of the correction. But what if the page is just totally crammed and there's no room to write the correction? Happens all the time, right? Well, there's a really slick solution for that. Just put an asterisk right next to your crossed out error. Then find a clear space on the page, usually at the bottom, and put another asterisk followed by your correction, your initials, and the date. It keeps the document looking clean and the trail is perfectly clear. So let's really hammer home the fundamentals. The do's: always use permanent ink, make sure anyone can read your writing, and document things as they happen, not later. The don'ts: never scribble or use correction fluid. That's a huge red flag. But the absolute cardinal sin: backdating or postdating. That's not just a mistake anymore. That's considered falsifying data, and the consequences for that can be incredibly severe. And let's just lock in a few more of these critical rules that really separate the pros from the amateurs. No whiteout, ever. Never use ditto marks, the little quote marks. Just write it out every time. It avoids any confusion. For anything really important, like a calculation, Get a second person to check it and sign off. That's your safety net. And remember, keep everything, even those raw computer printouts. It's all part of the story. So why? Why all this obsession with detail? Why so many rules? It's because at the end of the day, this is about so much more than just filling out some forms the right way. Here's the bottom line. Your documentation is the official, objective proof that you did your job correctly and safely. It's the evidence that will stand up in an audit, in a courtroom, or during any kind of review. It is your professional statement to the world. And in some industries, think pharmaceuticals, aerospace, food safety, the stakes are about as high as they can possibly get. Following these practices isn't just about compliance. In some cases, it is a fundamental piece of a system that is literally saving a person's life. So I'll leave you with this one thought. When someone else, an auditor, a lawyer, your boss, picks up your records 5 years from now, what story are they going to read? Will they see a story of professionalism, of accuracy, of integrity? Or will they see missing pages, sloppy corrections, and data they just can't trust? Because ultimately, that's the story that really matters.